Welcome back to Or Something Like That, the podcast where you can talk shit with your besties. We're your besties and your hosts, Sam
and Hollis. Thanks for being here. Now let's start the show. All right.
Hello.
What's up?
Well, first and foremost, I need to acknowledge that my hair looks insane.
No, it doesn't.
And I feel like the crimping style is back, you know, like not curling iron, but the actual, like the crimpers that we used like 15 years ago. And I was trying to copy a hairstyle that I saw in someone that was clearly done by a professional.
Right.
And it's like, why do I even try? Like, what do I think? I'm Vidal Sassoon? You know what I mean? Like, it looks nothing like what hers looks like.
I respect your attempt to go out of your comfort zone, but it's not really out of your comfort zone. You used to crimp your hair all the time.
I know, but like, it just doesn't, I don't know. Something's like not quite the same.
Yeah.
And also, it's like,
it didn't hold together as much as it usually does, but I don't think it looks bad. I think it looks cute still.
It's okay.
Rocking it out.
I'm just, my hair is like so fine and stuff. Like, it just does nothing. Like, it's, if I don't try to like zhuzh it or something, it has no shape. It's so like limp. And like, I know you always like complain about your hair being like so unpredictable, but like, at least it's doing something. You may not know what, but like mine's nothing.
Right. Well, I know we all want what we don't have, but I feel like your hair always looks great.
I don't know.
But
I was watching Watch What Happens Live when Lisa was on, Lisa Barlow, and like her hair was like so sleek and straight. And like I do this too, where I'm like, if I could just get mine to look like that when I straighten it. But then it's like, is that even real hair?
Oh, no, it's definitely not.
I know.
It's all extensions. And yeah, that Watch What Happens Live episode was funny because she got called out for... Andy was like, you won't stop touching your hair. She's like, well, it's just so shiny and sleek.
Yeah. And it was, and it looked great, you know, but I'm like, is it? And even if it is real, again, a professional is doing it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Or it's bought that way.
Right, exactly.
It comes out of the bag
like, I'm sure
like
it's real hair, human hair, but it's not hers.
Right. Have you ever gotten extensions?
No.
Me either.
I mean,
I feel like it would be...
They were kind of, like... I mean, people that we ran with, I feel like had extensions like back in the day, and like college, it was definitely a thing.
Yeah.
And they were not as good as they are now. A lot of like,
well, that's the thing.
Like after a night of drinking, you'll be like, you can see where your extension is clipped in
your tracks are showing everywhere. Yeah. And if you like put your hair up in a ponytail,
forget it.
It's like all tracks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like they've come a long way. Hair science
I never went down the track
really
road.
Evolved. Yeah, me either. I also just like too poor and lazy.
Yeah.
But I've also always had a lot of hair. It's thinned.
Yeah.
Over the years, obviously.
Mine's
what happens
gotten thicker from the Armra.
Yeah, mine too. I have a lot of new growth. I'm not complaining.
We're taking our what's it called? Colostrum.
Yep.
So it's working. It's working, guys.
Or my brain is
sponsored, but it's working.
Or my brain is telling me it's working.
But either way,
there really is new growth, so I'm on board with that.
Yeah,
the grays are coming in hot though.
Are they?
Earlier than I expected.
I can see them a little bit. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean,
well, it always shows more with brunettes though.
Yeah.
Like I probably have some, but you just can't tell.
Right.
You know?
Oh yeah. And there's like, it's funny in the sunlight if I'm outside. Whoo boy, do they glisten? And it's just like,
Well, didn't you say they're like a different texture?
Yeah, that's the super annoying part. They stick straight up. They look like coarse dog hair. They're like witch, straight up, kind of curly. They stick out right the top of my head. So they're like, hey, what's up? We're here. Just want everybody to know. God. And
we've made our debut.
Yeah. And I mean, I know we've been talking a lot about this like body image stuff. But yeah, I was always like, I'm going to age gracefully. Everybody gets old, you know? Just embrace it. But...
I ain't embracing shit over here.
But it's hard.
Trying, but
it's hard when it happens and you're like, oh God, I guess it really is that time. I have to start embracing it. But you know, I didn't expect to have so many grays at 36.
Yeah.
You know, so I just colored my hair for the first time.
Yeah, I know. I remember
a month or two, or not a month or two. It's been like,
I like when you went darker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really like it. But now it's like, all right, yep. Got to keep it up.
Now you got to keep doing it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Yeah. I mean, my friend from like elementary school, my best friends from, you know, my whole life is a stylist and owns a salon. And so she does mine.
So nice.
It's great. And she does a wonderful job, but she's the only person that's ever colored my hair other than one time when I went here because I couldn't get into her soon enough. Like I just like didn't make my appointment because she backs up, you know? And I was like, all right, I have to get it colored. And she did fine, but like, Yeah. I mean, but she's been coloring it since, I don't know, she was pretty fresh out of cosmetology school, I think, when she started coloring it. And so who knows what it actually looks like.
Right.
I have no idea what my color is.
Yeah.
Well, during COVID, it got pretty dark. I mean,
your hair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was.
Yeah, I remember when I
It was
moved
brown.
back, I was like, oh, yeah, your hair's darker than I've ever seen it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
maybe I would have some grays going if
I would. Yeah, I wish you were a hairstylist. I would kill to have a friend that was a hairstylist that could just, you
it's
trusted,
nice.
and then could also be like, this is what you need to do.
Oh, she's the one that was like, stop parting your hair on the side.
I remember
We're
this.
not doing that anymore.
The
I was
butt
like,
cut.
Yeah. I was like, okay.
But the butt cut's back in.
It is kind of back in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's totally back in.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and I the side part's coming back.
Yeah, it's already phased. We've already got through the whole evolution cycle
Yeah.
of hair parts.
I'm here for the side part.
Me too.
I did it today
Yeah, it is.
because it looked better than the butt part
Yeah.
with the crimp.
Mine's kind of side. I've brought it more towards the middle. I used to have a severe side
Yeah,
part.
I did too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've tamed it a little bit. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm all right with it inching back over a little bit.
Yeah, I'm okay.
We'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see. I do have a confession to make.
Okay.
Last night, I ate 40 plus jelly beans. But here's the thing.
Were they Jelly Bellies?
They're Jelly Bellies.
That's okay.
There's 40 flavors. What are you
Well-
going to do? Not try one of the flavors?
Yeah, did you get one of those big platter tray things?
Yeah, so we got it for Christmas. My stepmom gets them for us every year. Well, okay, so actually I lied. I still ate 40 plus, but I don't fuck with licorice, so I did not eat the licorice one, but every other flavor I did, multiples of some. But I brought them because I need, I need some backup on this. Okay. One of the flavors, I gotta look. I think it's called Island Punch.
Oh my God, how did you sneak that in there without me seeing?
Well, because I'm a ninja. Okay.
Ooh, this is so fun. I love Jelly Bellies.
Let me look at the... Yeah, okay. Island Punch.
Okay.
This jelly bean, do you remember the scented markers from our youth?
Oh, yeah.
This jelly bean tastes like... I think it was either the blue or the purple, or it could have even been the tealish blue. Tastes like those markers
Which
smell.
one? This one?
This one.
Oh, it's purple.
I was eating. I'm like, what is that flavor? It's not. It's how
Oh
those
my God.
markers smelled. Is it not?
Let's talk my dude. That is crazy.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
I mean, the way it brought me back.
Whoa, that is blowing my mind.
I know.
I don't think I ever would have placed that.
Well, I did. I was
But-
so shocked when I did because I must have eaten 7 of them being like, what is it? What is it? What is it? And then finally it hit me. It's a smell. It's a smell.
Isn't that crazy? It's like that beer.
I have one more. Put that down.
Okay, sorry. It's going in.
I have one more. Juicy fruit gum.
All right, let me.
Cleanse the palate. Cleanse the palate.
Wow, they've gotten some new flavors since I've gotten in on jelly beans.
Yeah.
Jelly Bellies. Okay, wait, what is this?
Juicy fruit gum.
Holy shit!
Right?
Oh my God.
Now, it is called Tutti Frutti. So maybe that was the...
Oh, wait. I thought it was really juicy fruit gum.
No, that's what it tastes like, though, right? Now, it is called Tutti Frutti, so maybe that was the plan. Maybe they modeled it after that.
Whoa, they
But
gotta change
whoa.
the name.
I mean, the way I flew back in time.
Yeah. It feels almost wrong to swallow it because I feel like I'm chewing gum.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, I needed to bring that to the forefront. I
No,
feel
thank
like.
you. I'm just going to go in on these. Is that okay?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Here's the map. There's
so
the
good.
map. Yeah. This one's margarita,
So packed with flavor.
which I do feel like it tastes more like a margarita than I thought. I almost feel like you can taste the tequila a little bit.
Ew, you know the one I always hated was buttered popcorn.
Yeah, I don't like the savory ones so much.
No, that's not what I want out of
That's
a
really
Jelly
the
Belly.
only one that's savory, I think, is the buttered popcorn. But they're just delightful for the most part.
Oh, yeah. Kind of like a bad margarita.
Yeah. Yeah. Made with sweet and sour mix.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. From the gun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I also like coconut. And the pear. The pear is always the
Oh,
favorite.
the pear tastes like an actual pear.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like the juiciest pear you've ever had.
not like the fake pear. Because the rest of them, I mean, are pretty fakey, but
Sorry, audience, you can just hear me eating Jelly Bellies. But
that's all right. But yeah, the Island Punch and the Tutti Frutti, I was like, what is happening here?
yeah, the juicy fruit was crazy.
So anyway, if you've been wondering what those markers smell like from our youth, they smell like these Island Punch Jelly Bellies taste. So
That pair
I
really
recommend.
slaps.
10 out of 10 would recommend.
Oh my God. That's so nostalgic for me too, the Jelly Belly. I feel like we used to get those for Christmas too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
My brother was a big Jelly Belly guy.
Yeah. You know, they hit sometimes.
Yeah.
Like in the right moment. Absolutely.
Nice. Thanks for bringing the treats.
You're welcome.
I love a sweet treat, as I revealed
Yes.
last episode.
I wanted to make sure that you were getting what you need.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks, ma'am.
Yeah. Keeping you in my thoughts and prayers.
You do. T's and P's. That's what we're handing out.
That's right.
You do keep me well fed. I appreciate that.
I brought Kaiser salad for lunch.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And you made delicious
Actually, I
salmon.
forgot the dressing along with my notes for the podcast. So it's a dressingless salad. So whatever dressing you got, there's what it's going to be.
We'll find something. Let's hope I have some.
I saw something.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I spied a little vinaigrette of some kind.
All right. All right, so we're talking Bravo today, right?
Yeah, we've got 2 weeks worth of Bravo to catch up on. So
Yeah, and finally shit's going down. in
shit
some
is
of them.
going down. So let's get into it here. All right.
What do you want to start with?
Okay, well, first of all, I think we talked about this a little bit, but it didn't air, so we're going to talk about it again. And you were right so far. Dick pic gate.
Yeah, nothing.
Nothing has come of it. So if you're watching New York, and we've got 2 weeks worth here. So this was Erin sharing a picture of Abe's stuff
Rocket.
to Brynn and Jenna when they were in Puerto Rico, which I don't know. I didn't love it. I feel like there's a whole, as women, if we have to do what we expect of men with them as well. Because if the tables were turned and Abe was going around showing a picture of Erin's vagina to his friends on his phone, that would be a major, major issue.
Yeah.
And I get that, Erin had that whole comment. It's like, this is what girls do. It's, it's funny. We laugh, whatever. Okay. Sure, we're not talking about an unsolicited dick pic that somebody sends you that you're like, oh my God, look at this. We're talking about your husband. And no, that's not what girls do.
No. Oh my God.
I don't know. You don't want to see your friend. Also, yeah, I felt it. I know Brynn has the whole thing with Abe where it's funny, flirtatious, whatever.
Yeah, and she's probably the one person on the planet who did want to see it.
Right.
But regardless,
obviously, maybe it's a little different for Jenna because she is a lesbian and it's a penis. I don't know. So there's but yeah, I don't know. I didn't love that.
It seemed really juvenile and weird and just
it was a little weird. Yeah. And it very much seemed like she was doing it without his knowledge or consent, which I don't know. Maybe they have some kind of understanding. We don't know. We don't have all the information.
Sure, but I doubt it.
I kind of doubt it too. But
we have an understanding. Yes, you can show pictures of my dick
on TV.
Yeah, I doubt they've ever had that conversation.
I would think not. So I was not at all surprised by the other women's reactions, being like, "What?"
Yeah,
I mean, feel like Erin felt a little like, "Why are you guys making a big deal out of this?" Which it is her husband, it's her business, but I probably would have had the same reation. I would have been like, "What?"
I mean, of course, Ubah's was way over the top.
Yes, Ubah's was too.
That's just what she does about everything. But yeah, I think I would have done the same thing. Like, ugh, why?
Why?
That's
odd.
And with everything that's been going on with the Me Too movement and all this forward motion we're making.
There can't be a double standard the other way. Yeah. You know what I mean? You can't. Yeah, we have to do the same as what we expect. Yeah. So anyway, but you were right. It hasn't really gone anywhere. So we'll see. Because then on the next episode, Ubah had that reaction to the phone call with Abe, which I did feel like was weird.
Yeah, the phone call or her reaction?
Yeah, the phone call was weird.
Yeah, again, it's just
Ubah's reaction was
not warranted.
Was not warranted because it's not your husband. It's not. Yeah.
That's also I also can't figure out with Ubah what it really is that is making her so mad about these things.
Right, I know.
Why is she so
Is it
upset?
Some insecurity with her own relationship that she's projecting?
Well, it was so weird because she did say, some of us over here are praying for a husband. It's just like, what?
Yeah. Like, what is that?
What does that mean?
Yeah. Like,
And,
that Erin doesn't deserve to have a husband because of that phone call.
And like, I think it might be like a cultural thing, maybe, where it's like,
I don't know.
You know, there are very strict guidelines to ways women behave, especially when it comes to their relationships. That's the only thing I can come up with.
Yeah, I have no idea. It's got to be some kind of projection, right? Of something that's going on with her.
That it's just like, but I can't really get to the bottom of that.
I can't
And
either.
it's like, she way overreacted, but it is like the whole call thing was just like, if I was sitting there, I'd just be like, are we really doing this? Like, how old are we?
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
this isn't really, it's also just like not fun or funny.
No.
You know? It's
Like,
just like, ugh, come on.
yeah, I can understand like getting up and walking away.
Yeah,
just being like, I don't really want to do this. Yeah. But yeah, having that reaction, and I understand, you know, Erin being like, yeah, it's my husband. Like, it's not some reflection of like me treating my husband poorly, which is like how Ubah was kind of what she was trying to imply. Yeah. I do think like Brynn is too much with it.
Oh God, and again, talk about she's obviously has some serious wounds that she has not worked through, and it's coming out in this like over sexualization of things, and it's really uncomfortable.
Yeah, and the way she was like flirting with the
lifeguard. Oh God, it's just like, dude, and I think she thinks she's being cute
and funny, and it's not.
Yeah,
no,
it's just kind of gross.
I know,
and sad.
Yeah,
it's man. Yeah, there's obviously something not right deep down.
Right.
You know?
I know. And I know she's had a rough go of it in terms of like her start in life and all of that.
And sexual assault. And, and I feel like it's manifesting in ways that are uncomfortable for other people to be around.
Absolutely.
I feel like, Which, you know,
and
I don't
also
say that I'm not accusatory. It makes me hurt for her.
Yes.
You know, it makes me feel really bad for her.
Yeah. And to your point, it's, you know, it's manifesting in ways that make other people uncomfortable, but it's also manifesting in ways that I think is not good for her either, you know, and I don't know. And like sometimes they talk about this on the show and stuff. I mean, who knows? She could be in therapy, you know, but yeah, I mean, definitely something that needs to be worked through there.
Yeah. Because I know I watch her on the show and I think, oh, she's like 22 years old.
Right.
You know, she's
not. She's our age.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's my age. I think she's 38.
And I think she's a really smart professional woman. You know, I think she like, you know, can hold her own in a lot of aspects, but it gets lost because she acts like a kid.
Well, and I wonder too, you know, and we talk about this a lot, sort of that gray area of like, how much of this is she doing for the show? Yeah. Like, would she have done that with the lifeguard if she wasn't being filmed?
Right.
You know, who knows? I don't know. So that's also a factor that's like, who knows how much impact it's having. But
yeah, like there's nothing wrong with being like flirtatious and, you know, cute and funny, but I think she just kind of takes it overboard.
Because the other part of that too is that lifeguard did not seem particularly engaged in it.
No,
like he seemed like he was like, I'm over this. Like, just leave me alone.
Like I'm working.
Right.
How many times have we had this conversation? And the tables have turned. Like, do not fuck with people in their workplaces and make them feel uncomfortable.
And not only is he working, but he's there literally to save people if they drown. Yeah. He can't. Like, you're distracting him. Right. He needs to be able to watch the ocean.
The disgusting water.
So there was that too. Ubah freaking out about the beach and the dead pigeon and all of that. It was rude. I mean, there was no need for it.
And you know the worst part of it is like the conversation that Raquel had with her later.
Oh, where she like a brick wall.
Yeah, very reasonably approached the conversation and was just like, hey, you hurt my feelings, and she just could not accept it or even acknowledge that what she did, you know, it was just like,
I know,
again, a child. It was like talking to a child,
right? And it's one thing to say this is just who I am, and like I would have said that no matter what. I think it's okay to say that, but you still need to acknowledge that you hurt the other person's feelings and that they felt some kind of way about it. And you need to take ownership of that and accountability for that. Right. I think you can do both, but she didn't.
Yeah. No, that's the issue. Is like, because I believe she would have said that to anybody.
I do. Yeah.
And she wasn't lying. I think that really is how she just reacts to anything.
Right.
But also at the same time, it's like, just like you said, you can take accountability for the fact that you hurt your friend's feelings.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
In a way that she's coming to you, clearly seeking out that validation too, you know?
Yeah, like just acknowledge that what you did hurt me.
Yeah.
And maybe not tone it down the next time.
Right,
you
right.
know?
Yeah.
But she won't.
No, she won't. Also, during the synchronized swimming, Jenna calling Rebecca Rachel, like, literally gave me life. I mean, I was like, it's because you're not noticeable. They can't even remember your name.
Yeah, that's pretty telling.
You're doing nothing. You're bringing nothing to the table. I forget she's even there. Clearly, so do they.
Yeah, I mean, she's can't be invited back next
There's no
season.
way she'll be back. No. I can't imagine it.
No. Yeah, nothing happened. She was given opportunities. They even pulled her into a prank so that she could get a reaction out of her and see. They even were like, handed her silver platter.
Right.
Here's some interest.
Right.
And
here's a storyline.
Like, nope.
And that was like the worst 2 episodes of the season.
It makes me wonder why she
was
even
brought
got
in
on
at
the
all.
show. Yeah, like why she was even interested. Because she has to know that like this just isn't for me. This isn't who I am.
I don't know if it's like, I mean, because she has that purse line. I don't know if it was to try and like promote her purse line, but you would think like
she'd be dropping that name all the time, and she's not.
Yeah, you would think that like if that was her reason for doing it, Bravo still needs a reason for bringing her in. They had to have seen something in her.
Yeah, take a note from Erin's book and talk about your stuff constantly.
That's right. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens there, but
also they have stretched this Puerto Vallarta trip out for
is
like
this the
5
episodes?
It's going to be like 4 or 5 episodes.
I know. Usually
like,
trips are only 2.
Yeah, because literally nothing happened all season except for this.
Yeah, yeah. And now I'm trying to even remember, like the big blow up was Ubah's reaction to Erin's conversation, or with phone call with Abe, but then wasn't there something where she didn't take accountability for what she said about Jessel?
Right. And also leave Jessel alone.
Jessel's the best.
Yeah.
Who cares if she's glamming? You're all doing it.
Seriously.
That's what everyone does. Welcome to the second season of Housewives.
Yeah.
Everybody glows up. Everybody has a housewives makeover. Everybody has photographers and
everybody
glam.
sees them on camera and is like, ooh, I don't like that. Let me go fix that before next season.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that's the whole point. And she likes to dress up. Who
What?
cares?
Yeah, that was
being
stupid.
a hater.
And then Brynn like purposefully bringing up how her one true love was that ex-boyfriend of hers.
Yeah. Like,
that was
shady
McShaderston.
Yeah. And Erin, you're...
or something like that. I didn't even say it. McShaderston. I didn't even say it right.
Shady McShader. Shady McShader. It's so toxic.
It's so toxic.
But Erin was definitely a part of that conversation.
Of course.
And then like a little junior high girl was like,
yeah,
they said this. I just sat there.
I stood up for you.
I didn't say anything.
I said nothing. Yeah. And then they called her out so hard on Watch What Happens Live.
Oh,
Did
really?
you see
I don't
it?
think I saw that one.
Oh my gosh, it was her and Sai on Watch What Happens Live, and Sai had said in the show like Erin tells just part of the truth, like and so he brought that up and was like, so Sai said you just tell part of the truth, like what do you have to say about that? And I mean, she was just kind of like, oh, and Andy was like, you were very much a part of the conversation. You know how he does. And she was like, okay, yep. So I guess Sai is right. I just told part of the truth. And it's like, yeah. And of course she did the whole, well, I just remembered it differently or whatever. And it's like, okay, like,
yeah.
And I wouldn't doubt that you could have a conversation with friends, and then when you're trying to recall that conversation later, I'm sure there are things that you remember differently.
That conversation happened like 6 hours before.
No, I know, but I'm just saying in general, like, I'm not saying that's impossible to remember a conversation differently or not, you know, but yeah, and that to just sit there and say you said nothing.
Yeah.
You said some shit.
Blatantly lie. You didn't
She's
just
the one
like,
that
leave
said
out.
Their relationship doesn't seem sexual. Like that came out of her mouth.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so.
Yeah. No, that was just a straight up lie.
Yeah.
But yeah, poor Jessel. But I just want to, yeah, but she doesn't mind. I love too when she wore those heels to the synchronized swimming thing and they were all like, what are you wearing those shoes? Just like, just leave the poor girl alone.
I know, who cares?
So she wants to wear her pretty shoes. Like,
yeah, I mean, if Meredith wants to wear her high heels from the Sprinter van to the
Yeah.
yacht and Jessel wants to wear them at the pool, guess we should just leave them alone.
I make fun of Meredith, but I don't make fun of Jessel doing it.
I know, it's because whatever. It's fine.
Yeah.
Meredith was more ridiculous.
Meredith was way more ridiculous.
All right, shall we move on to Salt Lake City
Yeah.
or Beverly Hills first? What do we think?
Doesn't matter.
Should we go Beverly Hills and end with Salt Lake?
Yeah, because Salt Lake hot.
was lit. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Beverly Hills.
Beverly Hills was lit too.
Yeah. Text messages.
Okay, so before we get into text message gate, let's go over the other stuff because that's going to be the big one. Okay, first of all, the Kesha of it all.
Oh, I know. I like barely remember that happening.
Well, okay, because it wasn't like that big of a deal in the episode. I mean, it was just like, here's Kesha, we hang out sometimes, you know? But apparently the internet went nuts because I guess right after that episode aired, Morgan Wade posted some like cryptic message on social media being like, I'm done with this circus. Like, and there was this whole insinuation of like Kyle has something going on with Kesha.
Oh my
and
God.
Morgan Wade is jealous.
What? Wait, I thought Kesha was there with Erica.
No, Kyle.
Oh.
She's
gone on to a new pop star.
yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So who knows? I mean, I don't know.
Man. What hilarious drama.
I know. I don't know if anything will come to fruition with it, but
Well, Kyle won't be telling us, that's for sure.
No.
I'm a little like,
at least we have Garcelle being like, are you going to be a lesbian or not?
yeah, just be a lesbian.
Just be a lesbian.
And Sutton being like, well, you cheated. You had infidelity.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Well, it's about time though, because you know, Kyle's an OG.
Well, at first, when Sutton said that, yeah, I didn't know if she was referring to the rumors
Kyle?
about Mo or
Right.
Kyle and Morgan.
Me either.
Yeah.
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 Well, and that's the thing. Kyle's an OG. I love Kyle.
I do too. I always have. I
And, you
always
know,
will.
I know she's shared a lot over the years, but she has been not very forthcoming.
She's been tight-lipped about this
Yeah.
whole...
The
yeah.
Morgan Wade thing was super annoying.
It was, yeah. And it was almost like there was a lot of speculation online. And I mean, I kind of can see this and get this about how it makes for good TV and that like Mo was in on it and they were just perpetuating the whole relationship with Morgan Wade to make good television.
Yeah.
Which I could see, you know, and would make sense as far as why it was like, will they, won't they? And it never went anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, and being as vague about it as possible. Because there were times where it felt like she was at the reunion.
Yeah.
When Andy was like, could you see yourself with a woman or can you see yourself with Morgan? I mean, she didn't say no.
Yeah, not.
She said,
not right
you know,
away.
yeah. She said, I don't know. Like, I'm figuring it out kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. And that's not to say that that's not necessarily true. Maybe she is figuring it out.
Yeah.
But I feel like it could be either.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like they're going to get back together.
Her and Mo?
Yeah.
I want them to.
Yeah, I think everybody does.
I know. I think Kyle definitely wants it. We talked about this a little bit on a previous episode. I hate to say this, and I feel like this is a huge generalization, and I'm sorry about it, but I sort of feel like it's a men will be men. And I don't...
In what way?
In the sense that, like, I feel like Mo is probably out there doing more than she is.
Oh, yeah.
And that sometimes I think men can get that whole the grass is greener. And it's not. Mm-hmm. It's not always. Sometimes people are in bad toxic relationships and you got to get out. And I'm acknowledging that. But I do think a lot of times the grass is not always greener.
Yeah.
And even though it might feel that way because you're getting all of those like chemical feelings that are intoxicating, that, you know, that newness and that excitement.
It's temporary.
Yeah. And I think because Kyle's not really indulging, it doesn't seem like she's really indulging. Like we haven't really, other than the whole Morgan Wade speculation, we haven't seen any other men. She doesn't seem to be really dating.
Yeah, she really seems like I'm taking time to work on myself.
Right.
Kinda, and sincerely doing that.
Right.
And like figuring out who she is.
And I also feel like, too, a lot of times, especially women, I think, when you go through something like this, like you do come out better. And there could be a situation where even though she, I think, wants to get back with Mo, she might work on herself and get to a place where like she's leveled up and like she makes a realization that like even though I think I wanted this, like maybe I deserve something better or different too. So I don't know. It's like, I don't know. There's both sides of the coin. So
yeah, it was kind of sad when they were at that lunch with Garcelle and Sutton and Kyle, and they were kind of talking about that. Or maybe it was at the Chuck E. Cheese party. But she said something like, I think he loves the condo life.
Yeah.
Which, you know,
sure
means I love the single life.
Yeah.
And, like, just doing my own thing and not having any, like, serious responsibility outside of work and just, Yeah.
And I do think that whether or not he actually has cheated in the past would play a big role, too. And we don't know that.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know that we ever really will. I mean, if he is the type that has cheated in the past, then who knows? I don't know. I would like to see them come back together, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. Okay. Let's get into the texting.
Yeah.
Okay. So
she lied.
Also, here's the thing. I realize that this particular thing, the texting between the two of them, whether or not it's a yay or nay, is going to be, I think, situational. In this particular one, Kyle did not have a friendship with PK outside of knowing Dorit and PK as a couple. Right?
Well, this is what, I don't know, I think was also kind of hard to tell. Because it kind of seemed to me like they did. Like they had a close friendship.
No, what I'm saying is she wasn't like friends with PK. And then he met Dorit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So she met them as a couple.
Right.
Right. And became obviously friends with Dorit because of the show, and then spent time with PK with them as a couple. And then it seems like the four of them like spent time together. So in that particular dynamic, I don't care what kind of a place you're in with the woman, your friend, but if they're separated, the texting stops.
Yeah. I mean, I think every woman can attest to that like, yeah, that would make me feel a little betrayed.
Yeah.
I guess there is something to be said that like if you truly were, you guys had been friends for so long, you really were friends with each person, that like I think there is a world in which you can continue a reasonable relationship with both of them, but I feel like that takes a little bit of time. I also don't feel like they were that close of friends.
No,
also
I don't
we're
think
dealing
so
with
either.
like very dramatic, like not real world people. So
right.
like I feel like it's I feel like anybody could look at this and be like, yeah, girl, quit texting him, man, or at least the things she said in that text were odd too, and like.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. Like, I don't like the way she said, too. She made some comment when Dorit was, kind of telling her how she felt about it at the table at the Viper Room. And, then in her confessional, she's like, well, and she's not even being honest because, she had no problem with it for 8 years. It's like, but they're separated now, as if that plays no part in what's going on here. Are you kidding me? Like, It doesn't matter if she laughed about it while you guys were all friends and you and him are sending memes back and forth. Like, of course, that would be like you and Kurt sending memes and stuff back and forth right now. Of course, I would have no issue with that and we would laugh about it. But then if he and I separated, I would be like, I don't want you communicating with him, and you'd be like, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
Or it wouldn't even dawn on me to keep doing it.
Right.
And at the very least, if she really felt so strongly about keeping her friendship with PK, she should have gone to Dorit and been like, hey,
this is the situation.
I feel this way. And Dorit probably would have, been warranted to react however she reacted. But, it almost feels like to me that Kyle, I've always kind of felt like this. I don't think Kyle really likes Dorit.
Yeah.
I don't think her friendship means anything to her.
Yeah.
And I think she probably likes PK more and would like to continue to have whatever kind of friendship they had with him and doesn't care.
Yeah.
If it hurts her.
I know. I don't know. It's just because they really did seem to have.
They seem to have a friendship as a foursome.
Yeah.
I never got the impression that like her and Kyle were really that close of friends.
I don't know. I feel like I did.
Yeah.
It's hard to remember now, like trying to remember back on previous seasons, but I do feel like they were close, or at least that's how it came off, for the show and like on camera. But the thing that the real kicker is that, she flat out lied.
Yeah.
It's not just memes.
No.
They are clearly communicating about the separations, about the
had before.
or had
Yeah.
because she said, you know, I'll always keep your confidence or whatever.
Yeah, and it was just a little too much, a little too, I don't know how to say it, comforting or siding with him is how it felt. It came off very much like, hey, this sucks, but don't worry, I always got your back.
I've always got your back.
Which is what you don't want your friend to say
exactly
to the guy you're separating with, who you're having a rough time with.
Exactly. And the fact that I think, too, it would have come off a lot differently if she would have led with that. When, like, the whole thing came up and Garcelle said she texts PK. She texts PK.
Well, and she didn't even say that. She said he texts her.
Oh, he texts her.
Yeah, he texts her.
Okay.
Is what she said on the
PK
boat.
texts her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Which we didn't see the text before her text.
Right.
So we don't know.
We don't know the whole story.
But that sounded very much like her instigating a reach out to him.
Okay.
Is how I took it. But
and I think it would have been different if when the whole thing came up, if Kyle would have led with, yeah, I did send him this one message in support when the separation happened.
Yeah,
I
but
just was trying
it.
to be supportive, but that was it. There's been no further communication aside from a meme or here or there or whatever. A mem from a mem. And here it is. Like, I'll show it to you. Like, that would have been totally different. But the fact that she was so adamant that it was nothing and it was just memes and like you didn't care for 8 years, like she was almost defensive.
Yeah.
And I wonder if it's because she sent that one message and she was worried about that one message, or if there's a whole conversation thread going on about the separations and all of it.
That we don't know about.
The only thing though is I do feel like PK would tell Mo.
Yeah.
I'm maybe not though. I would be interested to see what Mo's take on it is.
Well, Kyle said that she told Mo about it.
Yeah.
And that he was like, that's so dumb that everyone thinks you
Oh yeah,
can't
that's
talk.
right. That's right.
Yeah. Which is such a man's perspective.
Yeah.
Like, very like, you know.
But I also wonder who
Stereotypical.
knows what she told him though. What if
Right.
she said to Mo like, "Oh, PK and I have been sending memes back and forth, and Dorit's pissed about it."
Yeah, I'm sure she didn't go into detail.
I'm sure she
about
didn't read
what-
him that message.
Yeah, probably not.
So I'd be interested to see what his reaction to that message is, and if that opens up any like ideas in his mind of like, are they texting about me?
Right.
And Dorit? You know? I don't know.
I also thought that visit to Bose was so shady.
So shady. And Bose is riding hard for Dorit.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of love it.
Yeah, me too. I mean, she's got to have somebody.
Yeah, I know.
Like, Dorit's
She's got to have someone in her corner.
I mean, Erica.
Garcelle hates her.
Yeah.
Kyle hates her.
Erica's really good at being Switzerland between the two of them.
Yeah.
I think Erica's got her back. But
Yeah.
I mean, but that visit was so shady. Bose was so right. She was like, it feels like she was just coming over here to visit me, not to see how I was doing, but just to be like, you know, which I think she 100% was.
Absolutely.
But her showing Bose that picture and then bringing up the whole thing about Dorit being too, I was just like, what are you doing?
I know. That's
so
that's where the whole
shady.
like defense, like she's defensive
why
and
are
she's
you so
very
defensive?
much trying to like, and it's tit for tat. And I think that's even
She
what
said
Bo
that.
said. Yeah. I don't, it's weird.
Yeah, she's kind of, it's not her normal form.
No.
Which makes me, it's sus, kind of.
And, you know, it could be projection of her own insecurities about what's gone on with Mo and in her relationship, that she's like being defensive about this in the same way that like she dealt with so many accusations about Mo for so long. Yeah. It could be that, but there is something about that text that didn't sit real well.
No.
I don't know.
I also feel like they're both just in a really hard spot. I think they're probably at their limit of what they can take. Dorit especially. Obviously, you can tell she's just like, I've had it. I'm not doing this anymore. And just firing off in ways that they like normally wouldn't. You know? But
yeah, we'll see like how it unfolds.
Oh, I also feel like I hope Jennifer Tilly shows up more.
I know.
I like her a lot.
I don't think they'll bring her on as a full cast member.
Oh, that's right. She's just a friend.
She's a friend of, I think.
Yeah, okay.
We'll see what happens. I think she probably has too much going on in her life that she doesn't. I doubt she would want to be full time.
Right.
But I
like her.
I like the addition of her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, get that Simpsons money, girl.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Are you
I
kidding
know, I had
me?
no idea. Because she was in Liar Liar. Do you remember that movie?
Yes.
But I feel like she was in that and then I never saw her in anything
Well,
again.
she's Bride of Chucky.
Yeah. But I
which,
mean,
to horror people, that's huge.
okay, Salt Lake.
Salt Lake. All right.
I mean,
I
feel like the
honestly,
obvious place to start is Brittany.
So,
Yeah.
not this most recent episode, but the episode before was Brittany recording.
Clearly recording.
Clearly recording.
Just, the jig is up, Brittany.
The jig's up. And, like, the other thing that I find so funny is kind of the irony of it all.
Yeah.
Because the whole thing's being filmed.
I know.
It's just
I know.
Like, okay, like, I know she's recording and, like, listen, I know that, like, not everything airs that they're filming, but it's like there's
Like,
a
you're on a
whole
TV
recording
show.
film crew here.
I know. Andy brought that up on an episode of Watch What Happens Live. At the end, he sucked that in. It was just like, Brittany, God. But wow, did they...
Well, and it's like, yeah, her story changed 4 times. And then she basically just kind of admitted it.
Yeah.
You know? And
Brittany has this star power, though, where she can just bounce back from things. And, like...
Oh, yeah.
She's really great at just, like...
pretending like everything,
Yeah, like melting down completely. And then just being
fine.
like, oh, well, I'm still here.
Right. Yeah,
I'm not going anywhere.
I know. And then her whole, like, I haven't been honest about everything. And
Oh, my God.
being like, I am having sex with Jared. The thing with this is, like, I feel like this is a very common theme on Housewives where, and I am almost hesitant to say this because I don't want to sit here and say that traumas that have happened to us or things that we have experienced don't affect the way that we behave. Absolutely they do. I mean,
Yeah.
of course. But I do feel like Housewives tend to bring up something,
Oh, yeah.
whether it's like a traumatic thing that's happened to them or something they're going through or this and that, to deflect from what they have done. And then everyone's saying, they're going, oh, it all makes sense now. It all makes sense. And it's like, okay, so like 2 pretty distinct, I think, and different examples were Mary's very vulnerable moment, which I felt like was real, where she talked about her abandonment issues.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was very real, I felt. Yeah.
And then the opposite end of the spectrum is Brittany bringing up that she does, in fact, sleep with Jared. And that's, you know, she's having a hard time coming to terms with that.
Right. And, like, I'm sure growing up Mormon and all the stresses that come with that is not real.
Right.
But it's also just like...
that the timing was just off.
Yeah. And also
This
just
isn't
like...
the time, Brittany.
No, it's not the time. It's also like it just doesn't quite match up.
No.
You know? Like, yeah, we get it. But it's also like, then maybe don't flaunt all these things on television.
Well,
I don't know.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, yeah, I
Like,
get.
how dare you
know,
bring wine to my house? But you drink around us all the time.
Exactly, and you're
then
doing
you
it on camera.
I'm Mormon. It's just like,
you're doing it on camera. That's the thing. It would be different if it wasn't a television show and you weren't doing like. This is no big revelation here.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, you're doing all this stuff on camera. You're not fooling anyone. And so, yeah, it would be different if it was offline, but it's not. And I get what Heather was saying. Like, this is a big deal for her to admit this.
And I do.
Like,
I am sympathetic to that.
Yeah, I am too.
And also, I do think, I don't like this idea that if you're dating someone, everyone just assumes you're sleeping with the person.
Know,
like,
yeah.
I think it is possible to be dating multiple men and not have any sexual interaction with them. I think that's not a fair thing to assume about someone.
I agree.
But it's also kind of like, but we all knew what's going on. You've been dating him for how long?
Yeah.
Back and forth with him for years. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but anyway.
Yeah, Brittany, she's just hilarious. I mean, the pickles she gets herself into, the things she says, because she did the same thing at the burn book table.
Oh, yeah.
Very much a similar moment.
Yeah. I mean, she's done that with the daughters, too.
Yeah. She's always like, I have an announcement.
Yeah, or it just feels very out of place.
Yeah.
And it's like, it seems very much to, like, garner sympathy or, like, you know, and it's like, yeah, I mean, there's a time and a place for those kinds of conversations, and her timing is horrible.
Yeah,
it really just
is. And she's always trying to make it something very like simple and obvious, something grander than it is.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
By clinking her glass, be like, I have an announcement. I have just something very, very simple to say.
Right.
It's like, everyone's just like crickets, like,
right.
okay, cool.
Right. And two, I think, like, you're new to this group. I don't think people know enough about you to know how significant that is. Too. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's almost like she expects people to just understand the significance of that when she's not coming forth with any information about it.
Right.
Other than this announcement.
Yeah.
And it's like, why don't you let these women get to know you a little bit, and then, you know, a little later on down the line,
we need
a little
some context.
Exactly. So timing and context, she could work on that.
Yeah. She's another one that I feel like she just seems so emotionally younger than she is.
Yes.
You know, where I'm
agreed.
like, she seems like a 24-year-old
yes,
girl.
Agreed.
Which I feel like is probably, you know, a result of her upbringing in the Mormon church.
Oh, I'm sure of it.
You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I found that with a lot of these women, you know, where I'm just like, oh man, you seem so much
younger,
more naive and younger than you really are. But yeah. But oh my gosh, there were so many instances of them sitting at a table in these last couple episodes that just went awry. Like Whitney at the wig brunch, absolutely savage. It was supposed to be like this fun, the Lisa Barlow lunch where they all wore the wigs.
The text message gate?
No, this was before that. This was like, they went to brunch, they all...
I know they had the wigs on.
Yeah.
I don't remember what was said.
And it was all supposed to be fun, and they all went around the table and were like, do your best Lisa Barlow impression.
Oh, with the tags?
And Whitney came, with the tags, and just blew the whole thing up.
Yeah.
And said, I can't remember exactly what she said, but everyone was doing like a cute, like complimentary impression. Yeah. And she was just like, nope. Yeah. I'm about to drop this mic on this table and destroy the whole brunch. And it was hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. Oh man.
I have a hot take about Lisa Barlow.
Okay. I love Lisa. That's my hot take, but go ahead.
I feel like Lisa Barlow is the Trump of the housewives. Lisa Barlow talks like Trump. The way she talks about herself sounds like Donald Trump. I came to this watching the after shows.
I can kind of.
There's a little bit of, I'm the best. I have all the best clothes. I have the biggest, greatest life. You're copying me. Yeah. Like her vernacular, the way she talks sometimes, especially when she gets on rants about herself and defending herself. I was just like, this sounds like something Trump says in one of his speeches about, oh, I have the best boats. I had the best clothes. Everyone's copying me.
Yeah, I can see that. I actually like her, I think, more than most people.
I like Lisa too. I think
I don't think she's like some evil, mastermind manipulator. I really don't. I do think that she's materialistic. I do think that sometimes that manifests in a way where she is putting other people down.
Yeah.
I think it's coming from a place of insecurity, probably.
Sure.
But I do feel like there are lots of instances where, and she says this a lot, where she does get held to a different standard for some reason. Especially last season. Was it last season? Was the season right after her hot mic season? When she had her hot mic moment with Meredith, that wasn't last season, but the season before, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I felt like there was a lot of unfairness towards her.
Yeah.
And there was a lot, she was being blamed for a lot of things that really weren't her. I don't know.
No, I don't dislike Lisa because I think she can be really funny. And
I mean, she's great TV.
Yeah,
that's
I don't.
For sure.
And that's the thing is I think she keeps things interesting. So that's probably where, my likeness for her comes in. I feel like, I think Heather said it on something like an after show or something. That it's really hard to feel bad for Lisa.
Right.
Because she's the most materialistic.
Yeah.
She's the pettiest and she's the most judgmental.
Yeah.
And she is judgmental about petty, stupid things like clothes and hair, where it's just like, quit being a bitch. Like, so she's very harsh
but honestly,
to criticize.
They're all like that though, too. And see, this is kind of what I'm talking about, where sometimes I feel like Mary's like that. Think about how judgmental Mary has been throughout the entire series.
Yeah.
The nasty, awful things she's said about people.
I know. Everybody loves Mary.
And
too.
everybody, you know, she's a fan favorite, and she's hilarious. So yeah, of course she's going to be a fan favorite. She's almost like the Kathy Hilton of Salt Lake, you know, where she's just so unpredictable and like, but you know, and it's like the same thing with, you know, when we're talking about like the high body count hair and like, I mean, that was Angie and Brittany, and like everybody's slinging these same insults and doing the same thing. But for some reason, I do feel like Lisa Barlow gets pinned as like that girl in the group. She's that girl. They're all that girl.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think Lisa Barlow, just through the seasons, has been much more vocal about it.
Perhaps.
Where I feel like the rest of them haven't until Angie stepped on the scene.
Yeah.
And now Angie is coming for the meanest.
Yeah.
And she is like, she has the harshest tongue of them all.
Yeah.
I feel like, and she'll sling them too.
Now, how do we, okay, so let's get into like Text-mageddon.
Okay.
Obviously that was produced, but it's okay. It was still good.
What, the burn book?
The text message at the dinner where they all read the text messages.
Yeah.
Because clearly, like, there was like one message from each person about somebody.
Right.
You know?
They just like randomly had it ready to go.
Yeah. It wasn't, because they probably would have all been about like the same two people.
Yeah.
They would have all been about Lisa Barlow.
Right.
You know? But wow.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
there was obviously things they really did say, though, which was kind of incredible.
Again, Brittany came through with the most hilarious.
Oh my God.
I wanted to invite Bronwyn to tea instead of you, Mary.
Get out of here, Brittany.
Like, I would have to you
That
anyways.
was the meanest thing you've said. Was it Mary that was like, that was the meanest thing you've said?
But then some of them were so savage.
It almost broke my heart, Bronwyn, reading hers.
Yeah, I know.
It really did.
Really, yeah. And you could tell Angie was like,
I know.
It's like, I'm just starting. Like, just wait. It gets so much worse.
Yeah.
Because she went on and on. Yeah, that was pretty.
That one was heartbreaking.
Angie's
a little bit.
Mean.
Yeah, that one was savage for sure. Yeah. I do think Whitney's was trifling.
Oh,
bringing up the threesome or the.
Well, and that's again proves your point. Yeah, I mean, Whitney's no angel either,
No!
and Whitney really goes for the jugular.
She goes for the jugular, and that's the thing too. I feel like Whitney kept saying, "This is a game. Like, I want to squash it," and I get it. Okay, but I do feel like Lisa had a right to feel singled out in that situation because other than Bronwyn's, her husband was brought up, but it was about Bronwyn in the relationship.
Yeah.
I think, if I'm remembering it correctly, about her being a gold digger and like,
Yeah.
Whereas this involved John doing sexual stuff.
Yeah, it wasn't about Lisa at all.
It really wasn't about Lisa, and it was, I do feel like it was a low blow.
Yeah, it really was.
I think there could have been a different.
She wanted to bring
I'm sure
it
there
up
was
again.
something else you said about Lisa Barlow that you could have squashed that didn't have to do with that.
Yeah, what you said at the wig lunch.
Right.
You could have brought that up.
Yeah. So, I mean, I did feel bad for her in that instance.
But then, sorry.
No, go ahead.
But then Lisa threw that really weird curveball and then brought up Angie.
Yeah. That
like,
wasn't fair.
No. Like, why bring her into it? What?
I know. Angie. And is it because Whitney sent the message to Angie?
I don't know. It was really like,
because that's the only way Angie was involved, was that she was the recipient of the message.
It was almost like Lisa's brain just misfired and was like, I don't know what to say. I want to deflect.
Deflect. Yeah.
This is all I got.
Yeah. I almost feel like it was that, or did she read something else, like a response from Angie on the message? I wonder that too, because they handed the phone over.
Yeah.
I almost wonder if Angie responded something back that she read.
She was taught, she sent it to Angie.
Yeah.
Oh, it could be.
Could be. Or it could have just been totally out of left field, take the heat off me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, who knows?
I wonder if Heather really came up with this idea and brought it to the producers, or you think the producers were like, why don't we do this, guys?
I just feel like either way, it was produced.
Oh, for sure. And just like the whole introduction, Heather's speech was very rehearsed.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And that's happened multiple times on this franchise. I feel like there are more obviously produced scenes on this franchise than some of the others. But with the whole like Monica of it all last season and stuff, and the whole beach
Yeah.
thing.
Oh God.
Oh
yeah.
my God, where it was
that
like,
was just like,
yeah,
what show is this?
yeah,
Well, yeah, and then Whitney reached out to Monica.
yeah.
I feel like
That's not
that
surprising.
that also didn't bother me as much as like I think people
No.
thought it was going to bother people.
Yeah, it didn't really bother me either. I don't know how I feel about Whitney. I go back and forth. I really, really, really liked her in the beginning.
Yeah,
And I really loved her and Heather's friendship too in the beginning, which is like, you know, kind of rocky now. But I don't know. She just gets shadier and shadier.
yeah, she's a real. I feel like she is the most trifling and good at being two-faced because I
Yeah.
feel like I like her. She's a likable
pot
person,
stirrer for
but I
sure.
feel like she's really conniving in the background.
I think so,
like,
too.
I think she's the one that like I would be scared of the most.
Yeah, because I feel like in early seasons, she felt very like authentic and like, you know, I think a lot of her storyline was like her leaving the church and then the whole stuff with her dad. And now I feel like she's morphed into this like, and this is just what happens as seasons go on and they get better at being on TV and stuff. But yeah, now I feel like she's like
kind
a
of Disney villain.
background mastermind.
Yeah.
Yeah, Disney villain, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
You know what's so weird about that franchise is like I feel like it's the most gossipy, and they're always this always blows my mind is like when they're like, well, where did you get that information? Like, well, this person told me.
Right.
Some random outside character
Right. This
who is not
podcaster.
credentialed at all. Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
like, why do you guys keep doing this?
Yeah, I don't know.
like like you think any of these people who are feeding you this information are being
truthful.
honest?
Right. It's like the whole thing with the podcaster, whoever that is, with Meredith and Whitney, where it's like, you don't think he's trying to pit you guys against each other? If this is true,
Right.
and he has said this to Whitney and he said this to Meredith, and, you know, Heather finally brought that up. Like, you don't think they're trying to pit you against each other for headlines and stuff? Of
Right.
course they are.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so yeah, you can't believe that's not proof of anything.
No,
None
and
of
like
this is
why,
proof of anything.
If they told you that, like if you're like, well, who told you that? And you said, oh, well, this random person who owns a podcast. Then I would
Right.
just be like, okay, well, what do they know?
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
like, but somehow it still has credence to them.
Yeah.
And it's just like, these randos don't know anything.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
keep them out of it.
I know. Whitney was on Watch What Happens Live, and I did find it interesting that she said the only person that didn't go to dinner after the reunion was Bronwyn. And I wonder if that, like,
Yeah, I'm
says
curious.
anything about the whole
reunion.
Todd of it.
Oh.
And it does look like the men are going to be on the reunion. Todd's on.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see like
Oh,
how he
man.
does at the reunion, or like what he has
Yeah.
to say, or like what, because for me personally, the jury is still out on Todd. I
Yeah.
can't decide if he is like just had no clue and is like, what the hell is this? And you're not coming back to this show, or if he's just like fully on board.
Yeah.
I cannot decide.
He's a
I don't
wild
know.
card.
I don't know. Well,
Yeah, the reunions are going to be good.
the reunions are going to be lit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. All right, well, I think that's all I got. So stay tuned.
Yeah, we'll do a reunion coverage.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
All
Bye.
right, bye.